Hello everyone, welcome to Horse Training with Bria. In this video, I will be using Danny, a 5-year-old Mustang from the Colville Confederated Tribes. Danny has many fear-based issues. One of them is that he's very ear shy, so we'll be dealing with that today. So, let's get started. Step 1. Desensitizing the airspace around your horse. It's super important to get your horse used to the airspace around their ears before you start touching their ears. So before you even think about touching their ears, get them used to things moving around their ears. Make sure to repeat this on both sides. Horses can be completely different on one side than the other, so make sure each side is completely desensitized. Quick tip, use approach and retreat before step 2. Step 2 is running your arm over both ears. So start really slow, approach and retreat, make sure your horse is comfortable with your hand coming up to their ears. Then you can gradually get to running your arm over both their ears. This is a really good technique because you run your hand over and then they get that natural release of pressure. You're not grabbing their ears or holding your arm consistently over their ears. It's a really quick back and forth movement and it gets that release of pressure just naturally. Step 3. Running your hand over the ear. As you may have noticed, we are gradually getting to the point where we can grab the ear or pet all over the ear with our hands. So we started with the arm. It's a little bit less of a grabbing motion. It's really quick. It slides over the horse's ears, but now we're using our hand to run over the horse's ear. Here I'm using the same technique as I did with the arm, but over one ear with my hand. Now that we've gotten our horse used to touching their ears with our hand, now we can apply step 4, touching the base of our horse's ear. Use the approach and retreat method, touch the base of the ear, then release the pressure and lower your hand. Repeat this until your horse is comfortable. Step 5, touching the rest of the ear. For this step, rub the base of the ear and then swiftly bring your hand over the rest of the ear. Release the pressure by bringing your hand down and then repeat the process until your horse is comfortable. After your horse is comfortable with that, touch the ear and then immediately bring your hand down. Repeat this process until your horse is comfortable. Step 6. Touching all over the ears. Now that your horse is pretty comfortable with you touching their ears, start rubbing them all over their ears. The difference between step 5 and step 6 is that we're consistently rubbing all over their ears and then applying a release of pressure and giving them a pat, but we're being more consistent and we're not taking our hand away immediately. Danny was actually a lot better at this than I anticipated, so do not feel bad if your horse is having a bigger reaction than Danny. He just ended his training session, so he's pretty thinking right now and tired, so he took this really well. Do not be disappointed if your horse is reacting more to these different steps. Just make sure to be consistent and release the pressure when they're nice and relaxed. Don't worry if your horse doesn't get this right away. You can spend a day on desensitizing the airspace. You can spend 2 days on desensitizing the airspace. Then once they're completely comfortable, move on to the next step. Then spend a few days on that step and then move on to the next step. It all depends on the horse. It's okay if your horse takes a little bit longer to get the certain exercises. Don't worry at all about that. Just follow the steps. Once your horse is relaxed, move on to the next step. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm willing to answer all the questions and help you out in the best way possible. I wish you the best of luck with your horse. Bye!